Hello there guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing well today, and as you can see, I'm calmed. I'm relaxed after I saw was an embarrassing performance against Chelsea last night against Arsenal, losing 4-2 at Stamford Bridge. Same mistakes all over again, just not turn up against Arsenal when they have a couple of losses in a row, and then when they come to Chelsea, they always seem to turn up. Like, these things need to stop. They really, really need to stop, because the more we continue like this, the more like we're going to keep dropping points, and we're going to be in danger of not being in the top four. So Chelsea next season have to fix this. They really do. But yeah, really, really disappointing performance. But anyway, let's not talk about that, because in this video, I'm going to give you guys my Premier League predictions on match day 32. That's what I'm going to do, because sorry, match day 34, because the season's nearly coming to an end, and yeah, I'm just hoping that these Chelsea players turn up against West Ham and also do really well, because if we play like that against West Ham, we'll get absolutely battered and conceded 4 goals yet again at Stamford Bridge. So let's see what happens. But without further ado, let's take a look at my the predictions for this weekend. So let's start off with the Saturday's game at the Emirates, and the game kicks off between Arsenal versus Manchester United. Yes, you could call them like rivals between like Wenger and Alex Ferguson's years of their club, but for me, these two are not the rivals. It's between Manchester United and Liverpool. But yeah, these two face each other at the Emirates, and the game kicks off at 12:30 p.m. UK time. Like now, this game, I'm not sure what to predict, because Arsenal beat Chelsea yesterday. Manchester United got a humiliating defeat against Liverpool. I'm not sure, because Man United haven't really got a good record against Arsenal. Like, the last time Man United beat Arsenal at the Emirates was in the 2017 to 18 season, when they beat them 3-1, and David De Gea was the man of the match with those brilliant saves, to deny Arsenal. So I'm not sure. Like, my head is telling me, um, my head is telling me an Arsenal win, but my heart is saying 0-0, because I don't want Arsenal or Manchester United to catch above Chelsea, if you know what I mean. I really, really don't. So this game, I'm not sure. I just could see this being a draw. You know, probably like probably like a 0-0, because both teams are poor this season. Like, I didn't expect Arsenal to be in the top four, but they managed to do that in a couple of months. But those last 3 games was terrible, but they beat Chelsea, so they will give them hope. Man United, I mean, I expected them to win the perhaps challenge for the title, because the way they signed Ronaldo, Varane, Jadon Sancho just got me worried. Like, but I'm not sure if Chelsea are gonna be above Manchester United, to be honest. But they have been poor this season, so yeah, both teams are poor. Both teams are shit. So I'm not sure. Of course, both teams want to win if they want to be in the Champions League next season. But for me, this season, both teams have been poor. Well, Arsenal against Chelsea wasn't that poor, and the same for goes for Man United. But the reason why we couldn't beat these two is because we gave them the goal. Like, the mistake, like, yet again, I keep on telling you guys, like, once you make a mistake, you'll cost your team to win that game. So that's the one thing I don't get. So yeah, I could just be seeing this like a like a boring game. Like, of course, when these two met at Old Trafford, it was a 5-goal thriller, but Man United won that game. I'm not sure if both teams are gonna win the game tomorrow. Like, it's you can say that they're a rivalry, but they're not the best rivalry at all, because Man United have achieved more something than Arsenal, if you know what I mean. So yeah, but yeah, I could see this like a 0-0. I hope it's a draw. I hope that neither Arsenal or Man United win that game in order to be like a couple of points behind Chelsea. Because yeah, Chelsea have got games in hand, but imagine if we lose those games in hand, if you know what I mean. So I hope that game ends in a draw. I really hope so. But yeah, 0-0 for that game. Moving on into Leicester versus Aston Villa. That game kicks off at 3 p.m. Like, Aston Villa, like, they haven't been really great in the last couple of games. Like, keep on losing under Steven Gerrard. And I thought that since he got Rangers to win the league last season under Rangers, and he's Liverpool's legend. I'd have thought that, yeah, Aston Villa are gonna really push up the way they signed Coutinho, like all of these players, and even Danny Ings as well. But in the last couple of games, they haven't been that great. Lost to Tottenham, lost to Arsenal. Who else did they lose to? I feel like Liverpool as well, Man City as well. So they haven't been that great in the last couple of games. So whereas for Leicester City, they're starting to pick up points. I mean Everton. I mean they could have won the game, but Richarlison got that last minute equalizer. So yeah, but they're still unbeaten, Leicester City. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Aston Villa in the way their stats and their recent results haven't been, so for this game, unfortunately, if you're an Aston Villa fan, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm going to go for 2-1 Leicester City win because, like I said, your form hasn't been that great, and Leicester City, after the international break, unbeaten, if you know what I mean. Drawing against Manchester United, who else? Beating Crystal Palace, going through to the semi-finals of the Europa League, and who else? Yes, they did lose against Leicester and against Newcastle. So yeah, that was it. But they've only lost one win after the international break. Whereas for Aston Villa, three defeats in a row. So what can I say? What can I say? So unfortunately for Aston Villa, it's their record is gonna be just not that great, if you know what I mean. So 2-1, Leicester City is my prediction. Let's move on into Manchester City against Watford. Now, this game, I did say that Brighton are going to get a shock win against Manchester City, but that chance could have happened because it ended 0-0 at half time. But unfortunately, Man City, with the 3 goals, get them back into the league. So, yeah, I mean, so for Brighton, they'll be disappointed, but at least they can say in the first half, at least they tried. At least they tried. So, yeah, for this game, there's nothing I can say other than a 5-0 win against Man City because Watford, bro, I mean, no matter what manager they bring in, they will always not turn up. They will not turn up. Whether it's home or away, they always seem to not turn up. Against big teams as well. Like they've lost to Chelsea, they've lost to Arsenal twice, they've lost to Liverpool twice, they've lost to City at home. They've lost to Tottenham twice, so Watford are just a team that just simply cannot turn up, in the Premier League and especially in the big teams. And I know that they'll get destroyed by Man City. They would because, I just can't see Watford just turning up against Man City at all. So 5-0 um, is my prediction in that one. So for Watford fans, you guys are going to get relegated. Like I'm not like I can see you potentially like being in the bottom, like I said, like the only way I can see Watford like at least surviving is that if they get rid of some players and bring in some new players who at least can turn up in those situations like this. But the more they don't bring the players, the more Watford, whenever they do win a Champions League, they'll always seem to relegate. They'll always seem to fall down. So yeah, so for this game, just cannot see Watford winning. So 5-0 fashion for Man City is my prediction. Let's move on into Norwich City against Newcastle. Like Newcastle got that 1-0 win against Crystal Palace in their last game. And I tell you, Newcastle, I mean, like I told you guys, like no matter if you face Newcastle both home and away, they will always seem to turn up and they always seem to get 3 points. For me, I feel like next season Newcastle will be better than this season because the way the new owner came in, the players that they signed, they got rid of um I forgot the manager, the old manager, but then decided to bring in Eddie Howe, and it worked for them. It worked for them. For Norwich City, boy, I mean, not good. But Norwich City, I mean, Newcastle doesn't have a great record against Norwich City away from home at Carrow Road. Like, they've lost 2 times and they've drawn 3 times. And for Norwich City, they've only lost one in their last home games against Newcastle, and that was in 2019, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Newcastle does have a really good record, so whenever they travel to Carrow Road, they always not seem to do well. But for this game, I see Newcastle winning, even though my head is telling me that Norwich are gonna beat them because that last game against Burnley they were really good, you know what I mean? But for Norwich City, they you know they've just been shit this season. Even though in the last couple of games they're pulling up fights, I just cannot see them beating Newcastle at all. I really cannot. So I think Norwich City will score, but I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Newcastle United win. That is it. You know, or maybe perhaps no, actually a 2-1. I was thinking 3-1, but I was thinking no, no, no. It's gonna be 2-1. It's gonna be 2-1 to Newcastle for that win. So yeah, so that's it. But if Norwich City can pull up another shock win, I can see them potentially staying up, you know. But for this game, nah. Even though Newcastle are going to be in the Premier next season, for me, Norwich City are going down because they haven't signed new players. You know, they did sack their manager, but that didn't improve. You know, so that's the difference between them and Newcastle United. So that's what I'm going to go for 2-1 Newcastle United win. Moving on into a London derby, Tottenham against Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium, and that game kicks off at 5:30. And I just must tell you guys, like that Tottenham versus Brighton game, I didn't expect Tottenham to lose that game because the way they played under Tony Conte, like putting three or more past teams like Newcastle, Leeds United, and Everton and Aston Villa, I didn't expect them to lose that game. But I saw that game and Tottenham deserved to lose because they were terrible. And in fact, they had no shots on target at home. Like that is so embarrassing for Tottenham. Really was. Whereas for Brentford, we all know that like in the long like in the like like in the London derbies, they managed to pick up win. You know, they beat mm, they beat went Chelsea away. They beat Crystal Palace. No, sorry, was it Crystal Palace or something like that? They faced West Ham and beat them. Who else did they face? Something like Crystal Palace and perhaps beat them as well. So in those last three games, and those games were London derbies, they managed to pick up 9 points. So I feel like this is going to be a huge test for Tottenham because going to Brentford Community Stadium ain't going to be that easy. We saw Chelsea went there and managed to beat them 1-0, even though Brentford didn't deserve to lose that game. They really didn't. And when they faced Arsenal, they beat them 2-0. They faced Liverpool 3-3. Man City 1-0 win. Man United 3-1 win. So going to the Brentford Community Stadium ain't gonna be that easy for Tottenham. And plus, I'm not sure if Christian Eriksen is going to be allowed to play against his former club Tottenham. I'm gonna have to check that out. If it doesn't, then that's going to be a huge blow. But if he does, then Tottenham fans will be scared. Of course, he's not going to celebrate if he scores a goal because it's against his older club. But he will be happy to see the return of Tottenham, even though he's not playing for Tottenham. You know when they signed him. So yeah, for this game. I'm going to go for another London derby win for Brentford, and that game is going to end 2-0. You know, because like I said, I didn't expect Tottenham to beat Brighton. I really didn't. And if Tottenham would have beaten Brighton, they would see me going for a Tottenham win of probably 2-0 or maybe 1-0, since going to that place ain't going to be that easy. But for me, their last game against Brighton, they were poor. But for Brentford, unbeaten in the last four London derbies. The only London derbies that they've lost to was Tottenham away, Chelsea away, and Arsenal away. But at home, you know, they've been really good, and also they've done the double over West Ham for the first time in their history. So yeah, that's why they're so happy to face teams in London because even though they've lost, the least they can put up a shock. So I can see a shock Brentford win of 2-0, you know. So yeah, so that is it. That is all I've got to say on that one. And let's move on into Sunday's game, starting off with Brighton against Southampton. Now, of course, Brighton in the last two games in North London have picked up wins: 2-1 against Arsenal and 1-0 against Brighton. But those games were away from home. And I like the Brent and the thing is that Brighton fans were singing North London is ours. Well, Brighton, you may have got the win, but you're not in North London. Your team is not based in North London. It's from the South Coast in Brighton, sand beaches. So just don't take it too far. Yes, you can be happy, but don't say that North London is ours because it ain't. It ain't. So yeah. But I mean, Brighton were brilliant against Tottenham, and Southampton did get the goal, but they have to thank Fraser Foster because without him, Arsenal could have won that game. They really could have. But I thought Southampton will also do well against Arsenal. So yeah, both teams coming the last game with a win, if you know what I mean. So I mean for Southampton, um um before they faced Arsenal had really poor results, but for Brighton, unbeaten, So yeah, but for this game, I can just see this being a draw, probably like a 1-1 because we all expect Brighton. I didn't because at the start of the season, Brighton really shocked us. They were close to the European places, but the reason why they're not at this moment in time is because of they're drawing too many games, both home and away, which was disappointing. If they would have had a proper striker, then that would be a huge difference. Really would be a huge difference to them. But so for Southampton, yeah, they've managed to get that 1-0 win, even though they haven't played well in both the first half and the second half. They can thank their goal scorer Betnawand and their goalkeeper Fraser Foster for that win. So yeah, so that's why I'm gonna go for a draw 1-1. I could just see that happening, you know. So moving on into Burnley against Wolves, Wolves. I can't remember the last time they've ever won in the Premier League. I mean, their last game, I'm not sure if they lost or drew. I cannot remember. But for Burnley, I mean, they face Southampton later on today. So, but that game, I went for 1-1 between Burnley and Southampton because we all know that Burnley um, can get good results, but they haven't been that great this season. And also, like I said, that game against West Ham really cost them because that penalty miss did cost them. Because if they would have won this game 2-1, then I would have then I would be shocked. Then I would also go for a Burnley win. But for me, that striking of Sean Dice just wasn't that great. It really wasn't. But for Wolves, they really need to pick up form if they want to close the gap on the European places. So yeah, going to Turf Moor ain't going to be that easy. But I just feel Burnley. I do really do. So for this game, I feel like Burnley will score, but I'm just going to go for 2-1 Wolves win because even though their recent record at Burnley hasn't been that great, like I said, the sacking of Sean Dice didn't make any sense. It really, really didn't. So for me, they're going down. No matter what the results, they're going down. So it is what it is. So 2-1 Wolves is my prediction. Let's move on into a London derby, another one between Chelsea and West Ham United, and that game will be featured on Sky Sports. So if you're in the UK, make sure you tune into Sky Sports for that game. So for this game, Chelsea cannot afford to lose another London derby at Stamford Bridge because we conceded 4 goals against Brentford and Arsenal, conceded 8 goals and scoring 3 goals. Like, that is unbelievable. We conceded more goals than we scored at Stamford Bridge in the London derbies. Like, that is shocking. And we got 0 points in the last 2 games against the London clubs. Also another shocking. Like, for me, yeah, this game we have to bounce back. We cannot afford to drop points against West Ham because West Ham are looking to do the double over Chelsea since the 2019 to 20th season when they beat us 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, which was the first win at Stamford Bridge in their history, and also that 3-2 win against Chelsea during the pandemic in July. You know what I mean? I just hope that West Ham don't do the double over Chelsea. I really hope so. Because if they do, we could be in serious trouble and not both Arsenal, Man United, or Tottenham can catch to us. So I really hope that Tottenham lose a game against Brentford and Arsenal and the Man United game will be a draw because I don't want team to win. I really, really don't. But for Chelsea, we really need to focus on this game, on a game against West Ham, and just get the 3 points. And if Thomas Tuchel can make a couple of changes and put out their strongest team, then I can see us beating 2-1 West Ham in this game. You know, so for now on, Sarr can never start. Christensen can never start. The same thing goes for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, N'Golo Kante, and Lukaku. They can never start. Kai Havertz needs to be alongside Werner. Jorginho needs to be Jorginho needs to start, maybe alongside Ruben Loftus-Cheek because N'Golo Kante have been shit. I'm not sure if Southgate's going to be playing at the pivot, but we'll have to wait and see. For me, he can never start Reece James as the right centre back, and 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 Azpilicueta as the right wing back because you all know that these two don't do well in that position, so he needs to switch that up. For me, if um if um um, if Rudiger is still injured, then I'm not sure he's going to be playing as the left centre back. I'm really not sure. But for me, Trevor Chalobah needs to but for me, I feel like Trevor Chalobah needs to start. If he could play as the left centre back, let's see what happens. Let's see. But him alongside Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta are the only defence we have. Are the only defence. So that is what I want to see Thomas Tuchel doing against West Ham. You know, just make a couple of changes and let's see what happens. Because the game against Arsenal, he got it completely wrong. Absolutely wrong. But let's hope he gets that right. Let's hope he gets that right. And before I talk about the prediction, I must say, for the first time, Thomas Tuchel was making an excuse. Like, if he say like, oh, the pitch was poor. I know there's no excuse, but it's true. So let me ask you, Thomas Tuchel, if the pitch was poor, why did Arsenal beat us then? Why? If the conditions was wet and the grass was slippery and the players were falling over, then I do accept that. I do accept that. But the sun was shining, so how comes the pitch was poor? Like it was small. Like come on, man, you cannot make excuses like that. The reason why we've lost is because you made the lineup wrong and the players did not perform like they should do against Arsenal. That's the reason we've lost. Individual mistakes, not striking down the players, and just not clearing the ball out was the reason why we got lost against Arsenal, a team we should be destroying them like 2-0 or 3-0. That is it. You cannot make an excuse, Thomas Tuchel. So in that interview, he got it completely wrong. He got it completely wrong. But hopefully he gets it right against West Ham. So for this game, I'm gonna be confident, I'm gonna go for 2-1. Even though I don't want to see Chelsea keeping clean sheets, we just don't do it. We don't do it against London clubs. Like we didn't do it against Brentford and for Arsenal, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win. We have to bounce back. We really do. Otherwise, another failure. Another failure, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that is it. Let's move on into the last game this Sunday, and it's the Merseyside derby, Liverpool against Everton at Anfield. Now, this is a really tough test for Everton. It really is because we've seen the performance for Manchester United against Liverpool at Anfield, and they beat them 4-0. And for this game, I just fear for Everton. I really do because even though last season they beat them 2-0, that's because of Carlo Ancelotti. They've got Lampard and they're still not picking up wins. Yes, they got a draw against Newcastle, but they were 1-0 down. And if they wasn't well with Charlison, they would have been in serious trouble. So I fear for Everton. I really, really do. But for Liverpool, they're back in second because of Man City win, but they want to make sure that they win the quadruple. And they've got a chance. If they do win the quadruple, then boy, they'll become the best team in England. They really do. Above Arsenal, above Manchester United, above everybody. You know, so yeah. So that's why I feel for Everton. So Merseyside derby, I have nothing to say, but I'm gonna go for probably like a 3-0 Everton win. I mean, sorry, not Everton win, a Liverpool win. Because, like I said, Liverpool are doing well, but for Everton, they're not so doing well. But if Everton can put up a shock and beat them perhaps 1-0, 2-0, then boy, Lampard will do will get the fans happy and they'll believe they'll be staying up. And I hope that Everton do. I really hope so because they're not a small club. They're a big club. They used to a couple of seasons ago. They used to be in the Europa League and didn't do well. That's the kind of place that they want to be, Everton. But because of Ralph Benitez didn't do that. They had to sack him and bring in Lampard because they didn't achieve. They really didn't achieve that. So yeah, so it was really really disappointing. But yeah, for Everton, they'll know that going to Anfield ain't easy, especially the Liverpool fans, singing their hearts out, supporting their team. You know, I mean, every Liverpool player from goalkeeper to forward is doing wonders for Jurgen Klopp. So yeah, I feel for Everton. So 3-0 Everton is my 3-0 Liverpool is my prediction. I keep on saying Everton. Ugh. And moving on into Monday Night Football, Crystal Palace against Leeds United at Selhurst Park. Now, for this game, I feel like Crystal Palace will be disappointed that they didn't beat Chelsea, but at least they can be proud that they put in a really good performance against Chelsea, and they had decent chances. If it wasn't the likes of that second half goal, Chelsea would have been big trouble. They really wouldn't. But I have to give credit to Patrick Vieira and all these players because so far, I never thought that Crystal Palace will be in the FA Cup semi-final, and maybe perhaps going into 11th. But since then, Patrick Vieira is could be the best Crystal Palace manager ever because, like I said, they stopped Man City from scoring a goal, got 4 points of them, got 4 points of Arsenal as well. So they are the team who are looking really good. You know, but I can see this game being like a draw, like maybe like a 2-2, because Leeds United, under their new manager, is doing well. Like the last game, they drew against Southampton, but they could have won that game. They really, really could have. So that's why my head is saying that my head is telling me that go for a Crystal Palace win, but I just don't see that happening because, like I said, both teams looking really good under their new manager. So that's why I'm going to go for a 2-2. I feel like Leeds United will score 2 goals in the first half, and then Crystal Palace will score 2 goals in the second half because, like I said, both teams under the new manager is picking up form. Well, Crystal Palace didn't sack Patrick Vieira, but Leeds United sacked Marcelo Bielsa because they were in terrible form, but under their new manager, doing wonders. So that's why I can see this being like a 2-2. So yeah, there's something else I can say. Like if Crystal Palace win, that means they'll be above the mid-table. But if Leeds United win, they'll also be above the mid-table. So that's why I'm looking forward to that game on Monday night. So yeah, but it's difficult. So I can see this game being a draw, like a 2-2, if you know what I mean. So that is it. That is all my predictions. Let me run through them one more time. So Arsenal versus Man United, a draw. Even though I feel like one team is going to win, I don't want that to happen. So a draw, 0-0. Leicester City against Aston Villa, a 2-1 Leicester City win. For Man City against Brentford, I went for a 5-0 Man City win. For Newcastle against Norwich, I've gone for a 2-1 Norwich City win. Sorry, 2-1 Newcastle United win. I've got to get my words up right. For Brentford against Tottenham, I'm going to go for a shock Brentford win of 2-0 against Tottenham. For Brighton against Southampton, I went for 1-1 between those two. For Burnley against Wolves, I'm going to go for a Wolves win of 2-1. For Chelsea versus West Ham United, I'm going to go for 2-1 Chelsea win. I'm hoping that happens. For the Merseyside derby, I'm going to go for a Liverpool win of 3-0. And for the Monday Night Football between Crystal Palace and Leeds United, I've gone for 2-2 draw. So that is all my prediction for match day 34 for this weekend. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree with my predictions, and let me know in the comments down below what's your predictions on match day 34. Would you go for a perhaps say like a Norwich City win, like a Crystal Palace win, like what do you guys go for? But let me know in the comments down below. But that is it. That is the end of my predictions on match day 34. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to everybody who watched this video. And if you did, give this video a thumbs up. Just hit the like button below if you enjoyed this video. If you are new, hit the subscribe button below, hit the bell notification so that you never miss any of my content, and you'll be alerted once I've uploaded any of my YouTube videos. And share the video to everybody so that they can give their predictions down below. And let's hope at the end of this weekend we'll, we will see whether you got the same points as me, or whether you got more points than me. And if you did, congratulations to you guys. And like I said, in this show, the highest score is I wanted to achieve more than 8 points, because so far I got an 8 points twice, and I want to achieve that from now until the end of the season. If I can do that this week, then really good. Then I'll be so happy, really do happy. So I'll achieve more than 8 points. But if I don't, then I've got to keep on trying. I've got to believe in. So yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out tomorrow's video, where I'm going to be doing reacting to my Premier predictions match day 33. On Saturday, there'll be a match preview for Chelsea versus West Ham. On Sunday, a live watch along and a match reaction. So yeah, and then on Tuesday, reacting to my Premier predictions on match day 34. So basically start from now until Tuesday. So make sure you check that out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Look after yourself, take care, and as always, up the Chelsea.